talk a little bit about my 2023 reading and channel goals. I kind of just stumbled across BookTube last year in 2022, and I absolutely fell in love with some of the creators, and my interest in reading was re-sparked by some phenomenal books that I had the privilege of discovering last year. And as part of that new interest, I started recording videos for YouTube for myself. I have found it very therapeutic in a way to be able to record videos and talk about books, because I don't really have anybody in my personal life that I can talk to at the level that I want to talk about these books. I consumed a lot more books than I thought I was going to be capable of. And when I get really into talking about them, I can bore people to tears. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to subject the people I care about to that. Instead, I'm going to subject the people of the internet to that. Because hopefully, then that is a choice that people can make. And if they find it interesting, they can watch it. And if they don't find it interesting, they can avoid it. Whereas if you're stuck in a car with me for 2 hours, you don't really have a lot of choices. I kind of tried a few different video formats for my books, and I landed on vlogging, thinking, okay, I can vlog. I can do my book updates and talk about books throughout the week. I stopped doing that because unlike the vlogs of the booktubers that I thoroughly enjoy, I am not interesting. I don't lead a very interesting life, and I have a full-time job, and it is a job where I cannot record any part of me doing that job, really. I deal with a lot of private and sensitive information as part of my job, and there's just way too much risk of accidentally recording something that I shouldn't. And so that cuts pretty much most of my waking hours out of my ability to vlog about. And so what's left is me being tired at the end of the day and not reading very much. So I don't think vlogging was my best format. I tried TBRs, and you know, I didn't stick to any of them. I really didn't. I had books that I wanted to read, and I still have a number of books on my shelves that I bought and I would like to read. I think, like most people though, I'm very much a mood reader, and so today I make a TBR of what I want to read over the next month, and today, yes, I do. I want to read all of those books. 3 days from now, none of the books on that list sound interesting to me. So I have two options. I can either not read them and find something that I will enjoy, but then I won't be meeting my TBR, or I can force myself to read them and then know that I am not enjoying the book as much as I might have any other time, because I genuinely don't want to read it then. And I don't want to dislike a book because I forced myself to read it at the wrong time. And so I decided I don't want to do TBRs. I have a general TBR goal for 2023. I have a series of titles that I want to read. I have a series of goals that I want to meet for my reading, but I don't want to do a very strict TBR, because if I don't meet it, I feel like I'm failing. And if I do meet it, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to myself and to the books that I'm reading. So that's out. I do wrap-ups, and you can't go wrong with a wrap-up. You get to do little mini book reviews of all the books you read for that month, and I personally love watching wrap-ups, and I love filming the wrap-ups. That's one video a month, though. So I've been trying to figure out, what do I enjoy doing the most? Because if I'm not enjoying making the content, I can't imagine that anybody would enjoy watching it. I have two major passions in my life, and that is reading and video games. I think I can do something there. And I've started to plan out some videos that I want to do. I adore video games and I adore reading, and I don't think that those are two interests and communities that often cross over, but they do have some similar elements, and especially problematic elements. One of them being gatekeeping. And I think there's a lot of gatekeeping in the book community, and I think there's gatekeeping in genres of the book community. There's absolutely gatekeeping in the gaming community, and there's very much gatekeeping in genres of the gaming community. And yet, I think the two subjects are incredibly compatible. I think it makes perfect sense to be passionate about both things. I think, at least to start, I want to start planning out and filming some videos that I have been thinking about for kind of crossing those lines, crossing those barriers, and having discussions about how they relate to each other. And that's another thing that I think I want to do in 2023 is make discussion videos. I talk to myself all the time. I have arguments and discussions and debates with myself because I don't have anybody to have these debates and these discussions with about certain topics, but they interest me so much I can't get them out of my head. And the only way I can get them out of my head is to talk to myself.
It's just myself talking to myself about myself.
Out loud. A lot. And so I have a series of topics. These are either going to be like responses to discussion videos that other creators have made, or at least inspired by some of the discussions that other creators have had, or things that I just see in my observations of whether it be the booktube community or reading in general, or whatever it is. But I think I wanted to discussion videos, and I want to see engagement with people who are viewing these videos. So I'm hoping to be able to make content that people want to engage with. They want to leave comments about, they want to talk about. And that is a big goal of mine, to start actually being able to engage with viewers. None of my videos have any comments except for two of them. One of them, somebody caught a Stained reference that I made, and they're absolutely 100% right. Mwah, to that person. And then I just wrote a video on, or I just filmed a video on the Game of Tomes that Emmy and Carolyn Mary Reads are doing, and I'm super excited to do a follow along with that as a read along with what they're doing. And Emmy commented, actually, and so she actually saw the video and kind of gave it a thumbs up, and I was like, that's awesome. I did not expect her to see that video. And so another goal of mine is to hopefully in 2023, but just sort of a long-term goal, to connect with at least one booktuber and actually start talking to them directly, whether that be through, DMs on Instagram or emails, whatever that is, just to make a connection and find, some common ground and be able to kind of just connect with somebody one-on-one, not like a collaboration, start making videos together or anything like that, but just to have a reach out with at least one other creator. I think that would be really fantastic. So those are my overall channel goals. I want to continue to try to put out one video a week. I would love to be able to put out more. My full-time job is full-time and absolutely wildly exhausting. So sometimes I struggle with one, but it is something that I am finding very therapeutic, and I love doing it for myself. And I am getting more comfortable with it, and I think 2023 is going to be the year that I start to really find my voice and who I am and who I want to be in this community. And so I'm actually very excited about it. And so I think that's my big channel goal for 2023, is to just find the content that I really want to make and hopefully be able to engage more with the community at large. I would love to be able to get up to 25 subscribers. I think I maybe just hit 11 yesterday. And to get videos that get at least, between 5 and 10 likes. And that might sound really pathetic to people watching this, and especially to other creators that have hundreds of thousands of viewers and everything, but I don't need that much. I want to know that there are even a handful of people out there enjoying what I'm making, enough to subscribe and enough to put a like on a video, and give me just that kind of feedback. I want to get there. I want to connect with people. I want to make people interested in what I have to say. I want to make people happy with what I have to say. So those are my goals for 2023 for my YouTube channel. As far as overall reading goals, I read 76 books last year, which absolutely blows my mind. I think prior to that, the most books I'd ever read were, I think it was like 52 books. I think I managed to read about a book a month one year, a book a week. This year, I think I set my Goodreads reading goal at 100. I would not be able to do this without audiobooks. I have now a pretty big catalog of audiobooks because I've been purchasing a ton of audiobooks when they come up discounted. I keep looking over because I have a shelf over here where most of them, almost all but like one or two, I purchased in one big book haul at the bookstore. I want to get to every single book on that shelf. In more general terms, I want to read more of the books on my bookshelf. I only have a singular one tall bookshelf. The bottom shelf doesn't even have books on it. It has binders and other things. I don't have a lot of real estate, so I have to keep my book collection pretty small. But there's probably a good 50% of the books on my bookshelf that I've not read. And so I think I want to really get through those books this year, primarily, instead of buying new titles. So between my physical bookshelf and my audiobook collection, I now have a pretty significant library of titles that I've not read. And some of them I have no idea what they are other than either stumbling across it in Goodreads or it was one of my daily book deals in one of the emails where I'm like, yeah, let's pick this up. It sounds interesting. So I really, really, really want to, of that 100 books, I want to have at least 50%. I'm hoping a good amount more, but at least 50% of those 100 books I want to be books that I own as of this moment, and not new purchases. And I want to try to make a goal for myself. If I'm going to purchase a new book, then I have to pick a book already on my bookshelf as to kind of balance it out. 100 books, 50 of which or more, really I would love it if I could get through like 75 of books that are already on my bookshelf. If you saw my Game of Tomes video, another 2023 goal that I have is to follow along with the Game of Tomes by Emmy and Carolyn Mary Reads. I want to read every book that they're reading. They're going to be doing one book a month. And every 2 months, they're choosing complementary themes from different authors, and then they're going to be comparing them. So, for instance, January is A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. Their other book is Once There Was a War by John Steinbeck, which I actually do have to buy after I make that whole speech about not buying new books. I'm going to balance it out by reading Ernest Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms because I already have it. And then they're going to be comparing the two because they're both war novels and they're both heavily based on the author's personal experiences in the wars. They're going to be doing that with different books throughout the year. I'm super excited. They're two of my all-time favorite creators on YouTube, my favorite booktubers, but just creators in general. And so I'm super, super excited about that. So that's a big 2023 goal, is to follow along with the Game of Tomes, read the books that they're going to be reading, and watching their live shows where they do their own comparisons and, talk about the books. And I want to be doing a response video basically where I bring out their points that they talked about, and then I want to compare and contrast with what I gleaned and my opinions of comparing those two books as well. That's about it. Hopefully this will be a little bit shorter than most of my videos. I'm just really excited. I'm excited for 2023. I'm excited about the books that I'm going to be reading, and I cannot wait to see how this year turns out. I have so many books on my TBR, on my bookshelf, and my goals that I cannot wait to get to. So I hope to see you follow along on this book journey of mine in 2023. Please leave me in the comments down below any of the feedback that you can give me about my channel so far. If you've watched any of my other videos, if this is the first video, what kind of content do you like to see from your booktubers? What kind of content do you like from me? What kind of things do you see from me that you don't like? How can I change my format to reach a broader audience or to engage my audience more? Give me your feedback. I constructive criticism, I think, is always a good thing, and I would love to hear what you have to say. So yeah, leave a comment down below. Give this video a like if you have a second, please. And I will see you next time. But as always, please be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, and keep reading.